You finally sit down at a restaurant. You're hungry. You're trying to enjoy 5 minutes of normal adult life. And then your child starts sliding under the table, kicking the chair, grabbing the salt shaker, and getting louder with every shh you whisper. You can feel people looking, your stomach drops, and you're stuck between two awful options. Give in to whatever will keep the peace, or risk a full meltdown in public. If that scene feels painfully familiar, you're not failing. Restaurants are one of the hardest environments for kids. They're tired, hungry, overstimulated, and expected to do a very unnatural thing: sit still, wait, and stay quiet around strangers. That's not bad behavior. That's a mismatch between what the environment demands and what a child's brain can comfortably do. But there is a simple idea that can make restaurant behavior dramatically easier, and it's often taught very clearly in Japan. I'm going to call it the public rule. It's not about fear, shame, or perfect manners. It's about one simple principle that changes how you set expectations, how you respond, and how your child understands what behaving actually means in a public place. The Japanese public rule is basically this. In public spaces, we act in a way that doesn't disturb the people around us. That's it. It's not be good or don't embarrass me. It's not a long lecture about manners. It's a clear, simple idea kids can understand. Other people are here, and our job is to be considerate. And the reason this works so well is because it gives your child a purpose. Instead of hearing stop and don't and no, they hear a reason that makes sense. It connects their behavior to empathy, not punishment. It turns rules into something meaningful. We keep our voices low because other families are eating. We keep food on our plates because the staff has to clean. We stay near our table because the restaurant is busy and people are walking. Now, I want to be really clear. This is not about saying Japanese kids are all perfect or that every family does this the same way. Kids are kids everywhere. They melt down, they wiggle, they test limits. The point is the framing. This particular framing is powerful, and you can use it anywhere with any child in a way that feels gentle and respectful. So let's turn it into something you can actually use. Here's the first shift. Stop waiting until you're already inside the restaurant to teach restaurant behavior. In the moment, when your child is hungry and you're stressed, their brain isn't in learning mode. The best time to teach restaurant behavior is before you walk in, when things are calm. Think of it like a 2-minute preview that sets your child up to win. Before you enter, get down to their level, make eye contact, and say something like, "We're going into a restaurant." That means we use our restaurant voice, we stay near our table, and our hands stay gentle. We're sharing this space with other people. That sentence is already the public rule. Shared space, considerate behavior, simple expectations. But here's the secret that makes it even more effective. Keep the rules to 3, not 10. Not a whole speech. 3 simple, visible rules your child can remember. For example, quiet voice, safe body, stay close. Or voice low, hands to self, bottom on chair. Pick 3 that match your child's age and your biggest pain points. And then, here's the second shift. Don't ask your child to behave. Tell them what to do instead. Behave is too vague. Kids can't succeed at vague. Restaurant voice is specific. Hands on your lap is specific. Feet on the floor is specific. So instead of stop, you say restaurant voice. Instead of don't touch, you say hands in your lap. Instead of sit still, you say bottom on the chair. This isn't about controlling your child. It's about making the rules easy to follow. Now, the third shift is huge. Give your child a job. In Japan, kids are often given real responsibility early, in small ways. And responsibility is a magic button for behavior because it gives your child dignity. It tells them, you're capable, you belong here, you have a role. In a restaurant, a job can be simple. Let them hold the napkins and place them. Let them hand you the menus. Let them help count forks. Let them be the quiet voice helper and remind you, playfully, if you get loud. Kids love to feel important, and when they feel important, they're much more likely to cooperate. So your preview can sound like, "When we get inside, you're my helper. Your job is to carry the napkins and use a restaurant voice." Now you've set the tone. You've made it a mission, not a battle. Next, let's talk about the number one reason kids lose it in restaurants: the waiting. Waiting is hard for adults. For toddlers, it's almost impossible. So if you want good behavior, you need a plan for the waiting. This is where a lot of parents accidentally sabotage themselves. They walk in, sit down, and then they expect their child to magically sit quietly with nothing to do while adults talk. And when the child starts melting down, the parent scrambles: phone, snacks, promises, threats. It becomes chaotic, and the child learns that the restaurant is a place where rules change every minute. Instead, plan for waiting like it's part of the meal. Have a restaurant kit. It doesn't have to be fancy. A few small items that only come out at restaurants. A tiny coloring book, reusable sticker pads, a small fidget, a mini picture book, a simple matching card set. The novelty matters. And here's the key: introduce the kit as part of the public rule. You can say, "Restaurants are for calm bodies. This is your calm kit." That way, it's not a bribe. It's a tool. It's not, "If you stop crying, you get this." It's, "This helps your body stay calm in public." That difference matters because bribes train tantrums. Tools train skills. Now, what about food? Hunger is gasoline for tantrums. If your child is hungry, nothing you say will matter. So if you know the restaurant will have a wait, give a small snack before you go in. Not a huge meal, just enough to take the edge off. Or order something for your child immediately, even if you're still deciding for yourself. You're not giving in. You're preventing a predictable meltdown trigger. That's smart parenting. Okay, now you're seated, the preview is done, your child has a job, and you have a plan for waiting. What do you do when the behavior starts slipping anyway? This is where the public rule becomes your anchor. The moment your child gets loud, instead of repeating "no" over and over, you calmly label the expectation, "restaurant voice." Then you pause. You don't add 10 more sentences. You don't plead. You don't lecture. You give the cue, and you give your child a chance to adjust. If they keep yelling, you go one step further. You validate the feeling briefly, and then repeat the public rule. "You're mad. We're in a restaurant. We use a restaurant voice. Short, calm, no big emotion." And if your child is older, you can make it even more concrete by pointing outward. "Look around. People are eating. We keep our voice low so we don't bother them." Again, the point isn't shame. The point is awareness. Kids are naturally self-focused, especially toddlers. This teaches them to notice the world gently over time. Now, let's talk about the hardest moment: when your child is escalating. They're not just loud, they're starting to scream, throw things, or slide under the table. This is where most parents panic and either bribe or threaten. But there's a calmer, more effective path. First, keep your body language steady. The calmer you look, the safer your child's nervous system feels. Lower your voice, slow your movements. Get physically close. Put your hand on the table near them or gently on their shoulder if they tolerate touch. Then give one clear choice that protects the public rule. Something like, "You can sit on the chair with a calm body, or we can take a break outside." This works because it's not punishment. It's boundaries. You're not saying, "If you don't stop, you're bad." You're saying, "This environment requires calm. If your body can't do calm right now, we'll step out and try again." And yes, stepping outside is annoying. It's inconvenient. But it's also powerful because it teaches your child that the boundary is real. If every time they scream they get candy, a phone, or a special reward, their brain learns screaming works. But if every time they scream you calmly step out, their brain learns screaming doesn't change the rule, but it does mean we take a break. Here's the part many parents don't realize. You don't need to step out for long. Sometimes it's 30 seconds. Sometimes it's 2 minutes. The goal isn't to punish. The goal is to reset the nervous system. Outside, keep it simple. You can say, "You're having a hard time, I'm here. When your body's calm, we'll go back in." No lectures, no arguing, calm presence. When they calm down even slightly, you go back in and you praise the specific behavior you want. You're back to a calm body. That helps. Now you're teaching, not just surviving. Over time, this builds a pattern. Preview, cues, break if needed, return, and repair. That pattern makes restaurants predictable, and predictable environments reduce tantrums. Now, let's make this super practical with a couple of real scripts you can use. If your child is whining loudly, restaurant voice, pause. You can tell me quietly. If they're grabbing things off the table, hands stay gentle, you can hold your spoon. If they're standing up and climbing, bottom on chair. If your body needs to move, we'll take a quick walk to the door and come back. If they scream when the food isn't here yet, waiting is hard. We're in a restaurant. Calm body, here's your calm kit. If they're refusing to sit at all, you can sit with me or we can step outside for a reset. Notice what all these scripts have in common. They're short, they're calm, they're specific, and they keep the boundary without turning it into a power struggle. Now, what if your child truly can't handle restaurants yet? That's also okay. Some kids are more sensitive, some are in a tough phase, some have sensory needs. The public rule still applies, but your expectations should match your child's developmental stage. If you have a toddler under 3, think short and sweet. Choose a restaurant where food arrives quickly. Go at off-peak times. Don't attempt a 2-hour meal. Start with a goal like, we'll practice for 20 minutes. Then leave while it's still going okay. That's how you build success. Because another huge mistake parents make is staying too long. Once your child is past their limit, you're not teaching anymore. You're just enduring. Leave early on a good note whenever possible. That builds confidence for next time. Now, let's address something important. When you teach public behavior, you want to avoid turning it into fear-based compliance. The goal isn't obedient kids who never express feelings. The goal is kids who can handle public spaces with support and who learn respect for others without feeling ashamed of themselves. So if your child melts down, you can still be kind. You can still comfort them. You can still say, "This is hard." Kindness and boundaries are not opposites. The magic is doing both. And when the meal is done, don't skip the final step, the repair and the praise. On the way to the car, say something like, "You did a good job using a restaurant voice at the start. Next time, we'll practice keeping our feet on the floor, too." Keep it light, keep it hopeful. Kids learn from repetition, not one perfect dinner. All right, let me summarize the Japanese public rule into one simple plan you can try on your next restaurant trip. Before you go in, you preview 3 simple rules and remind them it's a shared space. You give your child a job, you bring a calm kit for waiting, you manage hunger. In the restaurant, you use short cues instead of lectures. If your child escalates, you offer a simple choice and step outside briefly if needed. Then you return and praise the calm behavior. Over time, your child learns the pattern, and restaurants get easier. If you've been feeling like restaurant outings are impossible right now, I want you to hear this. It doesn't have to be perfect to get better. One calmer response, one preview, one quick reset outside, that's how it starts. And if you want, I can also help you match this to a thumbnail and title combo that gets clicks without being clickbait. For example, the title could be "The Japanese Rule That Makes Kids Behave in Restaurants." And the thumbnail text could be something super short, like "Calm in Public" or "The Public Rule." If you want more research-based, realistic toddler tips like this, without guilt and without yelling, subscribe so you don't miss the next video.